Was the meeting posted?
Yes.
Okay.
Commission will now take up matters to do with special one-day license applications for alcohol beverages, for malt beverages and wine only. Richard S. Barrett of Kilkenny Pub for 660 Roger Street. This be a tent enclosed area at the parking lot adjacent to Kilkenny Pub for Wednesday, March 17, 2010, from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. The event is the St. Patrick's Day. Also for beer and wine only, Lambros Vortis of Gazebo Cafe Grill at the Gazebo Cafe Grill at 491 Dutton Street for Thursday, March 18, 2010, from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. The event is the American Association of Textile Chemists and Colorists reception. Flora Monsalve, she's not here.
Oh,
Also, Mr. Barrett has an application in conjunction with the St. Patrick's Day event for amplification of sound permit for Wednesday, March 17th, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.
if you'd step to the mic and introduce yourself for the record.
Richard Barrett, Kilkenny Pub.
Okay, Richard.
Hi, my name is Lambert Vursas.
Okay. Is this your first time running this is the little cafe in the Lowell Sun building there?
Second time.
Yeah.
I done one before.
You've done it before. You've been in there before. Okay. All right. Richard, are you hiring a policeman for the street?
Yes.
You are. Okay. You know that if you walk 5 blocks away and you can hear the music, and I know it's nice, but if you walk 5 blocks away and you can hear it, it's too loud, right? We've never had any problems in the past that I'm aware of,
No problems, I'm aware, Mr. Chair.
okay?
I didn't know if Mr. Barrett was curious about his hours at 4 p.m. start.
Yes.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah. I don't think it will get busy till around 6 or whatever, but if possible.
I'm sorry?
I don't think it will get busy till the 10, till around 6, but I'd like to possibly start at 4 if it's a nice day. The band was gonna play at 10.
Take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Hope it's a great day,
Thank you.
not only for you, but the Irish.
Do I stay for the music part too, or?
Yeah, we just did it.
Okay.
Yep, you're all set. You got both of them.
Okay.
Next.
Dean and Flynn, no representative, okay. Commission will open a hearing on an application for a change of location of premises by the Liquor Shop, Inc., George M. Miamis, President, all alcoholic beverage package goods store licensee for premises at 1201 Bridge Street. It is requested that a change of location of premises in the shopping center at 1193-1235 Bridge Street. The proposed store site is on the southwest side of the shopping center. There will be one entrance, a rear exit, and a loading dock. The room for retail will be approximately 3,000 square feet. Also, there will be a cooler and a storage room approximately 1,400 square feet.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Mr. Chairman, Attorney Greg Curtis from Goldman and Curtis in Lowell.
And I'm George Miamis from the Liquor Shop.
Okay. And I understand this is going to be a move for approximately a year while a renovation, and is that correct?
May not even be a year, maybe closer to 9 months, depending how fast they move with the construction of the new market basket. They're already building the outbuildings now, and they're anticipating that by early next year, they'll be complete.
Okay, I don't have a problem with it. You've got a good reputation. I don't think we've had any problems with the store.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Wait.
Motion.
This is a hearing which,
Oh, that's, somebody but us, right, I'm sorry. See that? I tried to, Anybody wish to speak in opposition to this? It's a temporary move. Yes, sir, step right up.
My name is John Pappas.
Yes, sir.
I live with my wife Jane at 80 Willard Street, and our house is adjacent to the building they're talking about.
Yep.
And the dock is, I thought the rules stated that it had to be so far from a residential property, and it seems to be only 10 or 12 feet away where they're going to be loading their cases or whatever they're having.
Okay, is there a restriction there? Is there a restriction there? Zoning? This is, I can understand your concern, sir, but, they're trying to develop the area and to clean it up and to put a new store,
Yep,
and it's only a temporary type move.
Well, it
And
may
I'm
be-
not saying that, you know,
I'm not arguing with what he said about the 8, by next year. I think it's gonna be a lot longer than that. May I approach you with these?
sure.
This is his house. You live at 80 Willard? Okay.
This is the doorway they're doing, and this is our backyard.
How about if they put up some kind of a privacy fence or
They're
something?
going to eventually.
What do you mean eventually?
I don't know what that means.
When are you gonna put up the fence?
No, it's not them to do.
No, I'm talking about, this is a temporary move into this building.
Yes.
Okay, if this was gonna bother you, you got a stockade fence right here. Okay, why can't you bring that stockade fence around in just this little section through here? And it would give you some privacy, and it would give them some
They're
privacy.
planning on doing it, the people that are doing the project.
Right,
It just hasn't got around to it yet. I'm just wondering whether that's illegal.
a legal setback.
Yeah.
Have you checked that through zoning or anything? I haven't.
This plan, I wasn't involved with the planning
Yeah.
part of this. We're here just for the license, but this is basically the old Ames store that
I
we're
know where
moving
it is.
into
I
on a
drove by
temporary
it.
basis.
Yep.
We're going to be back before you again
Right,
to
to
do this
move back.
all over again in about 7 to 9 months. And-
Right, but you know, what he's saying is true.
Exactly, and I think that can be
Saying 7 to 8
addressed.
months, you know how construction projects can go. I'm just wondering out loud, if I can,
Yeah.
could the developer of the property
I can certainly ask the developer.
ask him to put up, I think the biggest you can put up in the city is 8 foot.
Just a visual barrier.
Put a fence across to give him some privacy. And it would cut down on the noise going to his house. And then if whatever they planned after, but,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You go to Lowe's right up here and buy sections of fence. There's a chain link fence right there. You could bolt it on.
Let me ask you, how many times a day, a week, do you have deliveries to that
Yeah.
back door?
Approximately probably 12.
12 a week?
Yeah.
Okay, and typically, what are the hours of the deliveries?
Anytime from probably 7:30 to, usually they're in by 2 or 3, but sometimes the trucks run late. You could get one at 5, but most of the time between, say, 8 and,
So it's pretty
Two.
normal business hours?
yeah, it's not late at night. Yes, sir.
Would that satisfy the problem at least temporarily?
Yeah, as long as it's daylight deliveries, tough place to get into it.
I can't guarantee what time they come, but I'm just telling you,
No,
the
no, no, but I
average
mean,
is, I'm just.
That's your normal
right,
hours.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, he's gonna understand if there's a storm or something, the guy gets a flat tire, you can't get there. But what we're talking about, what Commissioner Cajun's talking about is your normal delivery hours roughly, you know, in that period of time. My only thought was if it was, you know, as I said, you know, you got a construction job going on, maybe you could talk to them about throwing up some kind of a temporary, you know,
Can certainly talk to them about
Whatever.
that, and that may be already in the plans. I
just to
haven't
make
looked
good
at that
neighbors. They're
plan.
gonna shop at the
Exactly.
store,
That's not a problem.
right? Okay, say, yeah, you are, right? Okay, he is. Go to the mic, sir. Yeah.
If I can look at the picture, I'm meeting somebody tomorrow at 7 o'clock for the landlord, so I can point that out to him
Yeah,
tomorrow
just,
morning.
you know,
See, the problem is, the zoning laws, I thought, said, because when the back building was built, this back building, the zoning law said they had to be 40 feet away, the doorway should be 40 feet away from a residential area. And that certainly is only about 10 or 12 feet away. That's all I'm asking about.
Well, again-
yeah,
again,
but that building's already there.
Right, the building's
I mean,
been
why
there.
didn't you, I'm not trying to be difficult, why didn't you stop it before it went up?
I mean them to stop what they're doing, so I'm just asking. That's all.
Yeah,
As long as
well,
the deliveries are daylight.
I'd like to see you work it out together so you're compatible.
It's a tough spot there. Lights on the doorways, there are no lights up on your doorways yet.
There will be.
Again, we're talking about things that are
That I
part
know.
of planning board and part of
But-
planning and development, and we'll be as
All you can do is
conscientious as
ask.
we can to resolve the matter. This is the first we've basically
Okay,
heard about
but
it.
I mean, all you can do is ask, and in the spirit of cooperation, you know, let's be realistic, a light fixture or a few sheets of plywood is not gonna break anybody on a project of that magnitude. And makes everybody that much happier.
And we're still a work in progress. We're not done
There
yet,
you
so,
go.
you know.
So, you know, okay? So if you ask and you tell us you're going to ask and see if he'll do it, that's all we ask.
That's fine.
Okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
All right?
That's fine with me, yeah.
All right? I'll take them. Anybody else to speak in opposition? In opposition? Okay, that portion of the hearing's closed. Anybody to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? That portion of the hearing's closed, okay? Again, just to reiterate, we would appreciate you asking, if the guys would do it, I think that would create, no sense in starting out on the wrong foot right off the bat.
We want to be a good neighbor.
There you go. Make a motion to approve the transfer of the license.
Second.
Oh, yeah, location.
Seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you.
Okay. I'll take a drive-by and take a look at the new fence.
It'll be 18 months from now.
Well, that's what I thought, it's already there. I mean, they didn't build that building. I don't know. Moving into it for that, and they're gonna wreck it eventually. If Ryan had only get these things straightened out, he'd want to come right out.
Mr. Chairman, we have another hearing, but I recognize no one here on behalf of the Boston Culinary Group, Inc.
Okay, next on the agenda.
Commission will now open the hearing on the application for the change of corporate officer, director, manager, and transfer of corporate stock regarding the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee Fairleigh Corp. Of Lowell, Mass., doing business as the Courtyard. Christopher B. Locapo is the president, 276-280 Central Street. This is a matter that had been continued from late in December of 2009. Mr. Locapo is to be removed as the present officer, sole officer, director, and shareholder and manager, and the proposed new manager and proposed new officer, sole officer, director, shareholder would be David Boyce.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last time that we were here and I had requested a continuance is that we didn't have a signed lease at that time. So we do have a signed lease with the present landlord.
Okay, and your name, sir?
David Boise.
Okay. What are they doing on the building?
Well, as far as we know that they've been in contact with the building department, that the landlord has also hired an architect to do a design. They have gone through and from what I understand, and I have no way to really confirm this other than with the building department, is that they've hired an architect that went in and looked at the building to find out that it was structurally sound to this point, and that they're working on developing plans to, I guess, rehab the outside and also the inside of the building.
Okay. They didn't give you any kind of a...
Any kind of a timeline?
Yeah.
I guess the best that we've heard is what they're gonna start maybe later spring, early summer. Other than that, we don't have any, knowledge to what they're gonna do. In trying to get the lease, that was part of our, part of our negotiations was what was gonna happen when the construction started and whether or not that would put, my client out of business. And we've been able to negotiate that. They'll work in conjunction with the tenant so that they can operate during regular hours during the week and that they're open during the weekends. And so we know that there's construction coming soon.
It certainly is an eyesore. There's no two ways about it.
Well, we certainly agree with that.
Tell me a little bit about your experience in this business.
I've been helping out at the Courtyard for about 2.5 years now, and everything from negotiating leases, insurance.
More than that, probably twice that. I think you started in 2005.
Okay, so 3.5 years. Everything from consulting at the initial basis to every aspect of the business, ordering insurance, leasing, et cetera.
Okay, anybody here to speak in opposition to this? In opposition, in opposition? That portion of the hearing's closed. Anybody to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? That portion of the hearing's closed. I remember when does this include the outside area now, in front with the little tables? Or is that a separate deal with the city?
Well, certainly it's city property, and I have nothing to show that it's not still part of the licensed premises. In other words, I assume the city has agreement with the landlord
Yes.
and/or the licensee to retain that outside
Yes.
use?
That's correct.
So
It is gonna, it's still part of your operating, okay. Well, I think you got a tough nut there to crack. I'm not gonna, sugarcoat it and say, you've got a tough area you're located in. I know that they've run a number of biker events and things like that there where, the noise is the big thing. Because you're right in the heart of downtown, and there are folks that live directly across the street and on the other side of you. And, you've got to just be conscientious of that at all times. I don't think you've gotten, I don't remember you getting caught in any of the stings.
I don't believe so.
No. Okay, have you ever been tips trained?
Me personally, no.
No. If you have a chance, you ought to give it some thought.
Absolutely.
And you got to understand that being the manager of that place, whether you're, down in Florida or wherever, you're still responsible. So whomever you leave there, whomever you put in charge, that person's, when they say he's got your back, he's got your back. Your front and your future. All of it rolled up into one,
Understood.
okay?
I would just join in the cautions with the noise. The warm weather's coming. That means there's probably going to be a lot more people outside, which also means that the neighbors are going to have their windows open to get the cool air in at night. So be ever mindful of the noise, because it is a pretty active group there. We do get calls, we do get letters from them, we do get complaints about noise. So it's on you to kind of manage the outdoors properly if it's going to be part of your liquor license establishment. And if it can't be, well, maybe it has to all be kept inside. So just keep an eye on that, okay?
Okay.
I know there's a lovely young lady that lives across the street, that if you make any noise, she'll call. So just,
Very aware.
okay, so just make sure you're good. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
this needs to go to Boston, to the ABCC.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I don't know if they, I just thought of something, and I don't bring this up. And I don't know if this is in effect or not, so I don't want to put any thoughts in anyone's mind. When John Turner owned that place, and the park out front was established, I was on the board, there was a restriction on the license that people had to have something to eat if they were sitting out there drinking. Has that restriction been done away with?
No, that's a restriction that what the License Commission initially imposed upon outside seating areas, but now the city council, by way of the sidewalk seating licensing, requires that if a restaurant has permission to use the public way, in which they have to have a contract with the city, through the council, has to approve it. The particular business owner has to have a liability policy of at least $500,000 to protect the city if any mishap. The purpose of the sidewalk seating is to allow patrons, customers to, in fair weather days, to be outside enjoying the menu of what's available to them by the business owner. So they would order food and beverages.
Okay. So it is that you have to have some kind of food there, something for them to eat when they're outside there, and that can be a wide and varied thing, of course. Is the little restaurant part still there? Mm-hmm. That little piece on the other side? Are you going to open that up?
For special events, things of that nature, it doesn't run every single day.
Yeah. Okay. Just keep that in mind, all right?
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Commission will now take up the matter of an application for a change of manager for the licensee known as BKDE Liquors, Inc., doing business as Lowell Liquors, the all-alcoholic beverages packaged goods store licensee for premises at 638 Roger Street, units number 4 and number 5. Change of manager would be from Robert Cassiotis to David Evans of Borica.
Introduce yourself for the,
David Evans, sir.
okay?
Robert Cassiotis.
Okay. David, you're gonna be the new manager of record, if this is approved. Tell me a little bit about your background and your experience.
I've been a co-owner for roughly 4.5 years there, full-time. And before that, I was a manager for Shaw's Supermarkets for 20 years, sorry.
Okay? So you're dissolving the partnership or the, no?
We're in the process of purchasing another location that I'll be the manager at, so I won't be spending the hours at this store. I'll be spending some, but he'll be the one spending, we both spend about the same now, but he'll be spending more hours at the location.
You don't have to work enough hours with the one you've got now.
It's
You wanna talk to these guys? Jeez.
not in Lowell, it's in a different city.
No, oh, hell, you might as well tack on an hour's drive, too. You know, why not?
I live in Danvers, so it's a rough.
How many times have you been caught? How many times have you gotten caught up in a sting or sold to a minor?
One, sir.
Once. When?
4 years ago.
Were you on duty?
I was.
You were. Were you the gentleman that made the sale?
I was.
You were. Okay, are you trips trained?
Yes, sir.
You are. Since then, or were you?
I was. Actually.
You were. Okay, do you have a machine in the store?
No, sir.
You don't. Do you make everybody show their IDs?
I feel that I do a very good job at that, and that's about all I
We
can
have
say.
passed several
Yeah.
states since then, and we.
I tell you, I've been in a couple of places that, I'm trying to think of the name of the package store on Chelmsford Street. In that, right next to Stanfield Tire.
Silver.
Yeah. Big sign there. You know, I mean, here's a sign 4 by 6 foot. You know, everybody shows an ID from 6 to 60, you know, and he doesn't sell to, I was in there, and guy was old enough to be my father, and he would not sell to him because he didn't have an ID. He says, no, that's my policy. He said, go someplace else. And I thought it was a wonderful idea because if you know, I mean, he has a big sign. And, you know, we're not telling you have to do that, but today it's so difficult to make people understand, okay? That's not bad. 4 years ago, getting caught once, very good. And,
We do try, sir.
well, I hope so. I hope so.
I think we have a good reputation.
When you come in, you know, if we know you, you're in trouble. Ryan?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you, sir.
Take care. Good luck. May we never meet again.
Mr. Flynn, do you have your signed application, please?
Flynn Carnival, right here. He's always, he's okay.
Was that? Yes, Ryan, this is, I believe this is it here, it's on the 4th
Good.
page.
Yes, did you sign that?
I will right now, sir, if I'm approved.
Your reputation precedes itself. Introduce yourself.
Members of the commission, I'm John Flynn, I'm the president of Fiesta Shows, and I apologize for my tardiness. In 30 years of doing business in the city, I've never been late for a meeting, but I guess this was my time. I inappropriately planned my time, I apologize. Here before you tonight to request permission for the annual carnival on Pawtucket Boulevard. At this point in time, I'm not sure who the sponsor is going to be. I'm still waiting for the commission to tell me that. But Tom Belgard, I'm sure, will tell me within the next couple of weeks before we start any advertising for the event, if we're approved here.
Mr. Chairman, this is the carnival that will commence starting Thursday, May 27th. and run through, including dates of June 5th, which is a Saturday, but then there will be the Sunday conclusion. The last day of the carnival will be June 6th. It's a Sunday license at the Pawtucket Boulevard Regatta Field.
Over on the Merrimack River, over there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Anybody wants to?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah, second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you very much.
There you go.
I do need a pen, Ryan, I'm sorry.
It's a low-budget operation, the city's hurting, we only got one pen. We have to have it back.
There's the copies
Into
of the
it.
Sundays and all. State, the town, the city. I'll be back in and see you next week when I come back. Okay, thank you very much.
See ya.
Okay, what do you want to do about, we've got one that we had a no-show.
Well,
right?
the one for, the one-day license, just to start from the beginning, where Flora Monsalve is not here, she could come again at a later date.
Okay.
The concern I have is the matter to do with this Sanger Center at UMass Lowell.
Which item is that?
This will be number 5.
Didn't we issue them a
Hearing on the
license?
application for corporate name change from Boston Concessions Group, Inc. to Boston Culinary Group, Inc. Kevin F. McNamara, the Executive Vice President, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee for premises at Sanger Center at UMass Lowell, 300 Martin Luther King Jr. Way. It is requested approval for transfer of corporate stock from Joseph J. O'Donnell to Volume Services America, Inc. Also change of officers and directors. Scheduled to be here was representing the Boston Culinary Group, Inc. was Catherine O'Connell, who is presently the manager of record, and also Peter A. Schoner, who is a corporate executive for Boston Culinary Group, Inc. I have no reason to offer you, Mr. Chairman, why they're not present. Just to give you a little background in this matter, as I understand it, paperwork that I had received in December of 2009 was from an attorney in the state of New Jersey, representing the interests of
Garden State.
Volume Services America, Inc., and for Boston Culinary Group. Information on the application indicated that Boston Culinary Group, Inc. had already established itself as in place of Boston Concessions Group, Inc. The License Commission was never properly notified of the corporate name change. They never requested a corporate name change with the License Commission, and this actually took place about 4 years ago. In conversation with the attorney who's representing the applicant, I suggested that this matter should be an application for transfer of license. He disagreed with me. I suggested that then the matter should go before the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission. He agreed, and he contacted legal counsel for the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission, who thought that it wasn't necessary that there be a transfer of license, but he did suggest to the attorney he spoke with, from what I gather, that certainly the licensing authority had grounds to take disciplinary action for failure to file the proper paperwork in a timely manner. Having said all of that, Boston Concessions Group, Inc. essentially has a lease agreement with the city of Lowell that's due to expire June 30th, 2010. As we all know, University of Massachusetts at Lowell has now full rights control over the Sanger Center, and possibly will be changing its vendor in the next several months to come. We don't know, that's yet to be determined. The Massachusetts legislature had made the proper changes by way of legislation signed by the governor to transfer the ownership of the property, the Sanger Center, to the University of Massachusetts. Now it's full control of the university. The liquor license for the Songa Center is a special license in the language of the special legislation. It allows essentially the entity that controls the Songa Center, the operation of the Songa Center, to pretty much predetermine who the concessionaire will be. And then the License Commission would just go through the formality of approving the license for that particular entity and subject to the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission. But there are certain aspects of the liquor laws that are not applicable to this particular venue, and such as being in a restaurant license, it's not required that this particular venue have operations where there is no scheduled event. They don't need to be open. It's not required of them to be open unless they have obviously a special event or a function, hockey game or concert. Short of it is, Mr. Chairman, this is kind of, I don't know, puts the licensing board in a no-win situation. You can't suspend the license, but you certainly can't really do anything with the licensee either. But the fact is that we don't know if they'll be around this time in July or whatever, who knows. But they seem to have chosen to ignore the matter of the
Why
hearing.
can't we just approve this? Even if it, why shouldn't we? What's the difference?
Well, because number one is they were supposed to be here.
Well, the concern, I think the concern that I would share with the commission, at least my concern in dealing with the papers, and I think the commission has had a chance to review the papers, is the transaction where Volume Services America, Inc. is a corporate entity that has that I know of no real Massachusetts base. It's whether it's a national corporation based out of the state of Delaware, organized under the laws of Delaware, or some other state. It seems like this is just like a chain of series of other business opportunities for the corporate officers or shareholders that doesn't necessarily directly impact anything to do with the local license. But I would have hoped, point being, I would have hoped that there would have been somebody representing the entity to at least justify the licensing board's action.
I mean, Boston Concessions Group and Volume Services, Inc. are two well-known national companies, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those are two big.
I think we did this when Chuck E. Cheese had a change in their directors about a year or so ago. Had some retired general took over, and we didn't make him appear or anybody on their behalf.
Well, the other thing is you have a regulation, and I should also point this out. Applicants that appear before the licensing board when there are matters pending before the licensing board. If you want to waive that regulation and hold the particular responsible parties not responsible,
particularly, look, I think it's a pragmatic approach. We didn't make Chuck E. Cheese come in, because they were a national chain.
well,
we did. We
that,
had-
as I recall, Chuck E. Cheese matter had to do with a certain individual, a board of
Manager
director,
of record.
a board of director, who was supposedly an individual who had served in the United States military, had his reputation preceded his joining.
I would have liked to ask him a few questions. But
And he's part, I think the individual's name is Tommy Franks, Tommy
that
Frank.
might be him, yeah.
Yes.
Do we have documentation showing that Volume Services is purchasing? I mean, if they're purchasing, I see no reason to drag them here. It's just a corporate transfer.
I didn't like that one anyways. That's all right. I hope it's not broke, you know, it's got a low-budget operation here. You have to pay for the mics, the speaker, oh my God. The only thing is, you know, where there was a dispute, who's this young lady?
This is Catherine O'Connell.
There we go, we're just trying, step right up to the mic, please. Okay?
Thank you.
Explain to us what you're doing in layman's terms.
Okay. The 1st of January, our company was sold to Centerplate. It was a stock purchase. So we're doing everything business as usual, but we just have a new owner now and a new name.
Okay, you have the same people in place and everything?
Nothing has changed. Same manager, same people, same tips training. Nothing's different. Sorry, I'm out of here.
That's the way to explain it.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you.
We were just trying to make it a little more complex than what it was, you know? We figured you didn't show up because, you know.
I was on a conference call and I went dashing over here. And it's like,
Well, as long as there was nothing that you were hiding, we're good. Okay.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anything else? Anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Coming home, Benjamin.